the hardest to go up against as well. So thank him for that. But yeah, I just had to buy into my role, which was to get the guys ready for the games in practice. And whether that's guarding them 94 feet, picking them up, locking and trailing, Caleb to make sure he doesn't get a shot off like teams will do to him, or if that's fronting Musa and Hunter in the post and others guarding Eli 94 feet, it depends. So, and I was given the opportunity to help us win a game on Friday night. I took no other approach to it. I just wanted to do the same thing and hopefully at the time help my team win that game.
We'll follow up with Clayton Sayfie from the Wolverine.
Yeah, Jace, on that note, when it came to guarding Kofi Cockburn and playing the 5 on offense, I guess, how did that come about? Was that something, did you go to the staff or did they kind of come to you and trust that you would be able to get the job done?
It was kind of mutual. They knew that I was willing to do that, and especially with the situation we were in at the time, we didn't even know if Jaren would play. And so it was just me, Musa, at that point. So it wasn't even like I had a choice. Like it was what we needed. And same thing in the past 2 weeks, it's been very similar to that in practices with not knowing who's going to be in each practice and not knowing who's going to be ready for the games and stuff. So they knew that I was ready for the opportunity. I wanted it because, how many times in your career can you guard like a preseason All-American or potential National Player of the Year? So it was something that I was excited for, and just to help us get a win. It's a long season. We're in round 4. We just finished round 4. And we have 16 more to go. So that's the mentality we have, and we're looking forward to it. Even though it hasn't been the ideal season that we wanted right now, I know we're excited for the opportunities that we have ahead. But yeah, it was a mutual. But I'd say I was more vocal in trying to get that opportunity for sure.
Next up is Andrew Kahn from MLive.
Hey, Jace. First of all, before the season, the roster, I don't know how official this is, but it listed you as a guard instead of a forward. Can you give some insight on that? Because it sure seems like, if anything, you were a center the other night.
Yeah, man. That's the versatility that our coaches preach in our offense. We're positionless basketball. So I was a guard. I take pride in guarding guards like Eli and Devontae in practice to get them ready. That's where I think my niche is. But at the end of the day, we're all basketball players. And I feel that to be a player, especially in today's game where there's a lot of positionless basketball, you have to be able to play multiple positions, guard multiple positions. And I know I'm not as tall as, let's say, some of the other bigs out there, only being like 6'7", but I feel that my off season and what a main focus was consistently shooting and ball handling. I wanted to make sure that I was for whatever we needed, and you never know. But I also sprinkled in some post moves and making sure I got a little bit stronger with Sandman, and that was very big because when I came in, I was about 206 pounds, and now I'm at like 224. Last time I weighed in, so. That's shout out to Sandman there. He's been one of my biggest helps since I've been here. We've before game lists, after game lists, post practice lists, pre-practice lists, all that good stuff, and all that extra work in was for nights like Friday where you just never know what the team's going to need of you. And 2.5 weeks ago, I wouldn't have even imagined having that opportunity to go out and guard Kofi, but it was something that I've always looked forward to, dating back to high school when Vernon Carey, one of my former high school teammates, went out with an ankle sprain before the state championship, and I had to step in and play the 5 again, and I was fortunate enough to lead my team in points in the state championship game. So I've always looked forward to opportunities because you never know what's going to be thrown your way. So I was just grateful for it.
And then just a second thing, I don't know if you heard my question to Coach Martelli, but the dynamic of playing for your dad on a team where, you're fighting for minutes and, you've got a lot of depth. It's not like obvious who should play, when and where. Like, yeah, if that's presented any challenges or if, I guess everyone's been cool about it.
No, instead of challenges, I'll probably say opportunities. Last year I had 3 pros in my position group, from Frank, Sean D, and Isaiah. So the opportunities to go against them in practice, just to get myself better. It wasn't even to help push them. It was honestly to get myself better, and all those guys had 3 different unique games for being pretty more or less the same position. So when I got here, I reached out to Connor McCaffrey. I think I said this before, and asked them how, and Jaden Hardaway, to ask them how it was playing for their fathers, because I never done it before. And it's been so far so good. Obviously he's a little bit tougher on me, but that's obvious. And but it's great because nobody knows my game like he does, and I know that he's always going to have my best interest. And if that day comes where he doesn't, I just got to get my mom on him. So I think she'll take care of that for me. And if I'm miserable, he's miserable. But yeah, so it's been good, especially him being a big and playing in the NBA for 19 years. It's really helped not only me, but Musa, Hunter, Jaren, Terrence, and even Caleb. It's helped us a lot, and learning from them, which I never done before, to an extent as I am in these past 2 years, has been interesting. But yeah, I guess the dynamic hasn't really changed much. He treats me like one of the players because I am one of the players. So I'm just grateful to be here, man.
Thanks.
We'll go to James Hawkins from the Detroit News.
Hey, Jace. I mean, over the last month, I mean, you guys have played just 3 times. You guys have had a game canceled. You had 2 games postponed. You've played 2 games shorthanded, and you mentioned some games you go into, you don't even know who's going to play. So I guess just what's it been like trying to navigate all that while you guys are trying to turn your season around?
Well, it hasn't been easy, to be quite honest. It's definitely been challenging, but it hasn't been something we're feeling sorry for ourselves about or shying away from. Everybody on this team wants to play. We're all basketball players, and nobody's going to shy away from an opportunity. Not just speaking for me, but Jaren. I know Kobe stepped up big for us, and I can name many others. I hope I don't want to forget anybody, but there was guys that were prepared to play that might have not played. But I think it showed how much we love this game. It's hard to play in a pandemic, and especially, I think before the season we couldn't have predicted that this would happen in terms of like games canceling and players being sick with COVID. We thought that was a 2020 thing, and even in the pandemic last year, we'd even have these problems. So I think I have to give appreciation to our coaches and our trainers who have been very helpful in this scenario. It's hard on all of us, but they've been very supportive and not only preparing us for the games, but just get the information and not withdrawing any information. Like when they find out something, we find out something. And it's made it a lot easier for us as players because now the transparency is it's very I don't know the word, it's there. And our guys, we levitate towards it, especially in times where we're not winning. This is obviously not what we want. We're winners here. And when you're not doing that, it's more challenging, but kudos to them for helping us in these situations for sure.
Right. And you kind of just mentioned it. I mean, heading into the season, I guess you guys didn't expect to be 7-7 at this point. I mean, aside from health, I guess what do you think has maybe been preventing this team from reaching its potential?
I'd probably say the lack of experience that we have as a group. Like I was thinking about it last night. We've only had 3 players that really played last year on this team that returned, and being Brandon, Eli, Hunter, and sort of Terrence in a way. So maybe like 4. And so we're all learning. Basketball is a game of the best teams always have experience, and not making any excuses for us, because we are coached just like them. We lace up our shoes just like them, and we go out and play the same game. But I want it. It's hard to pinpoint it because we're still searching for what in what ways we could be better. We're actively doing it every day. From having meetings, just talking about it in film, trying to find solutions in the game, film and stuff like that in practice. But so I don't really have an answer for you in that sense, but I know we're trying and actively getting there, because the most odd thing is we're still locked in, and we're all really good dudes. And there's no negativity, there's no finger pointing. And I never seen this on a team, because I've been on teams that struggled before. And that was there. And it's odd because now this is not there. So you're like, wait, this isn't how it's supposed to be. But it also gives us hope for the amount of games that we have left and what we still can accomplish, because we're only 4 games in the Big Ten play, and it still shows that this will be a team that could still be very competitive by the time late February, early March hits. And that's why I feel like we haven't given up, and we're going to play our butts off on Tuesday, because that's who we are. We have a lot of guys that work out. Like, when I come in the mornings, Frankie and Kobe are right there working out, right beside me on the other basket or stuff like that. Terrence is there. Moose is there. Moose is there before all of us. So it shows that we have hope, and we've got along better than mostly every other team besides last year's team. We're about the same equally in terms of how our locker room dynamic is. So it's hard to see, but I have hope for what's to come.
Appreciate it.
We'll move over to Michael Cohen from the Free Press.
Hey, Jace, kind of piggybacking off what James just asked you, at the beginning of the season, there were players who talked about wanting this team they thought could be maybe the best defensive team in the country that would compete for the Big Ten, maybe compete for a national championship Final Four. I guess when you have a start to a season that doesn't necessarily align with those types of goals right away, is it difficult at all from a confidence standpoint, or does the team feel like things need to adjust at all from a goal standpoint because the first half hasn't played out the way that you guys thought it would?
No, because I feel like our goals are still intact. We had 3 goals in the beginning of the season: Big Ten title, Big Ten tournament title, and national champions. And honestly, as bad as it went, or I wouldn't even say it's bad, is unpredictable as the first 14 games in have been. All those goals are still there. They're still accomplishable, and it makes it seem that now we're just going to use the past experiences to our benefit. Last year's team, we pretty much had the best season, I think, in regular season that we probably could have had, and a team that beat us at the end didn't have that, but they got hot at the right time, and they played their best basketball at the right time, and their season's more memorable than ours. So it just, I've been telling our players, that just proves to show that we still have opportunities, and all 3 of our goals are still ahead of us. So it's honestly, we're just, our only option right now is to use what we learned in those first 14 games for the rest of the season, because everything's still ahead of us. It's just going to make us better, and we're going to be more battle tested. So that's, yeah.
Thanks, Jace.
No problem.
We got one final one for you. We'll go back to Nick from the Daily.
Hey, Jace, earlier you mentioned adding on some weight and muscle and, Sanderson's role in that. And earlier this season, a couple of your teammates like Terrence and Brandon talked about their path to get into better shape this offseason and their diet. Did you make any dietary changes, and what was kind of the role of your nutritionist in your transformation?
Mine was pretty easy. I was able to just eat more. So I love that. Obviously healthier foods, but I was lucky in that sense to just add an extra meal in my day. So it was great. Kayla, who's no longer with us, and Sandman were great with the support that they gave me, the guide, like the blueprint that they gave me to what I wanted, which was to get a little bit heavier. Well, not, you know what I mean, put on some more muscle. And it was great because now I feel better. I feel as good as I've ever felt. And Sandman's basketball background is great because he knows how to put on weight, and he knows like how to keep your body still able to play. Because if you lift a lot, you're gonna be sore. So he does it in the right ways, and I'm super grateful for him. And he was one of my biggest supporters on Friday night because obviously that was a weight room type of game, and that was to show all the work that we've done in the summer and the year before that. So yeah, shout out to them. I gotta keep on giving credit to them because that's where it came from.
All right, Jace, we appreciate your time. Thanks for your patience.